Hello, it is Elizabeth Grace Saunders, and I am so excited to be here with you today. In case you don't know, I am a time management coach as well as the author of 3 books. And one of my most recent books is called Divine Time Management: The Joy of Trusting God's Loving Plans for You. But anyway, we're here today is I wanted to talk about how sometimes the key to being more on routine is being less rigid with your routine. So let me explain. So some people, when they start out and they don't have any routine at all, feel like they have to have everything exactly right. They have to go to bed at exactly the right time, get up at exactly the right time. Everything needs to be the same each day and each week. And it's good for sure to have more structure. That's what I help people to do, and having no structure can be really unproductive. However, it's also important to recognize that we're humans and God made us, I believe God made us, to need to have these rhythms of kind of constriction or being really focused, and then times when we're more relaxed. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about how that works in my life in terms of these rhythms of having a structure, but also flexibility to rest and recover. So we'll start out with the mornings. So I know some people are morning people, some people are not. I actually do like mornings. They're not a problem for me, but I address them in slightly different ways. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you probably know I heart swimming. That's my heart. And so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as well as Saturday morning, I am swimming or lifting. So I'm up early to do those things, and I'm at the Y, or I'm at another place where my swim team practices. So those mornings are quite structured. I need to get up at a very certain time to get my prayer time in, to then get to the Y or get to where my swim team practices on time. So those are not times when I can really vary a lot, because I need to make sure that I'm there on time. And then on Sunday, I often will volunteer at church in the nursery for the early service, so it's not really a sleep-in day either. I need to make sure that I'm there at a certain time. So for me, Wednesday through Sunday are pretty firm in terms of when I need to get up. For you, it might be Saturday and Sunday are more flexible. It just depends on your schedule. And so what that means in terms of this unforced rhythms of grace and giving myself the permission to recharge is that on Monday and Tuesday, I allow myself to be a little more flexible. So what that looks like is I might sleep until 6 or maybe even 6:15. I usually get up at 5:30 the other days, but just giving myself permission to have that little extra sleep really helps. Also, my family happens to do a family conference call on Monday nights, and so I can't go to bed at my normal bedtime of 10:30, so I'll sleep in just a little bit later, like maybe till 6 on Tuesday. And then Monday and Tuesday morning, I don't have to rush out to anything. Those are not days when I swim or I lift or I do any other thing. So I've got a couple of hours before I start work where I can pray, where I can have breakfast, where I can work on cleaning up around the house, whatever it is that I want to do. I actually find Monday and Tuesday mornings to be awesome times to do things like clean the bathrooms or take care of something in the kitchen or that sort of thing. So by having this variation in my schedule where in the mornings I don't have to do the same thing every single morning, I have Monday and Tuesday that are more flexible. I really find that it keeps me from just getting overwhelmed or feeling like I never have a break, and just gives me a little recovery time at the beginning of the week, because my weekends tend to be quite full. Another way in which I integrate in flexible structure so that I'm aware of my energy levels and where things are at in terms of how I do the flow of my week. So during the work days, Monday through Friday, I tend to work from about 9 o'clock to about 6 o'clock. It can vary some. Sometimes I'll start a little later. Sometimes I'll maybe end a little earlier, but around 9 to 6. But I am half extrovert and half introvert. And so it doesn't work for me to do the same thing every day, or I would start to get really overwhelmed in terms of my schedule, especially because I spend a lot of time on the phone being a time management coach. So what that looks like is that on Monday, I try to have ramp up time at the beginning of the day. And what that looks like is I won't typically start calls until 11 or maybe noon. So I have the morning to do my daily planning, do my weekly planning, answer all the emails from the weekend, and just get my feet under me for the week. So I give myself basically a half and half day on Monday. Half of the day is catch up planning, getting life in order. The other half of the day is being on the phone. Tuesdays tend to be really full days for me. So I often will have quite a few coaching calls or consults. That could be 4 to 6 hours that I'm on the phone those days. So I answer email and do some small tasks, but I'm primarily with people that I'm working with. Wednesday is a day I take as a project day. So although I am definitely working, it's a chance for me not to have as many calls. I may have one or two, but usually I try to just eliminate those so I don't have them on Wednesdays. So that gives me the opportunity to do things like write articles, write newsletters, work on things for programs like my Time Management Made Easy group coaching program, and really have that spaciousness to do the things that I want or need to do, where having just 30 minutes or an hour between calls is difficult. So that would be my Wednesdays. And Wednesdays are also days when I do things like if I'm going to have a networking coffee or something like that, that would happen on a Wednesday so that I'm not trying to run to Starbucks or do something while I'm in the middle of coaching calls. So it really reduces stress around networking meetings. If they're going to happen, it's going to happen on a Wednesday during the day. Then on Thursday, it looks very similar to Tuesday in terms of having quite a few coaching calls. I might have 4 to 6 hours of calls that are happening during the day. And then on Friday, it's basically often the reverse of Monday. So what I mean by that is we're heavy loaded towards coaching sessions or other calls in the morning, and then Friday afternoon looking to wrap up. Sometimes I do have coaching calls or other meetings that happen on Friday afternoon, but I try to limit those so that I really have the ability to wrap up and make sure that I have a good, strong end to the week. So I hope that helps you understand, like, even though we have a structure in terms of what we do and how we approach things, and I've got this 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, more or less, that I follow, it's okay to have flexibility. It's okay to vary things so that your energy levels stay up. And sometimes I start work at 9:30, and it doesn't happen often, but occasionally it'll be 9:45, and it's okay. I have things planned out in such a way that I know what needs to get done. I'm getting the things done on time, and I choose to give myself permission to be able to do what needs to get done, and it's fine, and it's lovely. And I've got a structure. I know when I'm working or not working, but it's not so tense and like, oh my gosh, I have to do everything at the perfect time or life is horrible. So that's just something I wanted to share in terms of how do we have a structure, but then also have flexibility within that structure so that we're not getting too tense and not really able to rest and recharge. And going along with this, I am a Christian, so I also just have these Bible verses that came to my mind that I thought went along really well with this. And this is from the Message version of the Bible, and it comes from Matthew 11:28 through 30. So it says, "Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace." I love that. I'm going to say it again. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. "I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." So my prayer for you, whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian or whoever you are, is that you'll learn the unforced rhythms of grace, that you can live lightly and freely, and that we can have routines, we can have structure. It's not like every week I'm like, what am I doing today? What's happening? When am I starting work? When I'm getting up? That'd be chaos. There's definitely a lot of recurring reminders and recurring alarms on my phone of when I'm getting up or not. But within that structure, within that sense of I know where I'm heading, I allow myself to be human. And if I need to sleep in a little more on Monday and Tuesday, I do. And if there's ways I need to adapt and adjust, I do. And that helps me to be productive, to be effective, and also to be human. So take care, everyone. God bless you. I hope you just have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.